Good morning. Prompted by some of your suggestions, today I thought I'd do a little bit of neck and upper back pain, some Pilates things that you could do to relieve that. Prepare before you start. If you've got an overball from Pilates, a squashy overball, not pumped up, half pumped up or even less than half. Or if you don't have a ball, a rolled up towel, just roll it up. It's mainly to go in the nape of the neck, so you don't want too big a towel. Or your son's marble cushion, something that's nice and soft. Come onto the hands and knees. So really talking about the shoulders and the upper neck comes from lots of computer work, sitting in a chair, leaning forward, driving. Hands nice and wide, shoulder blades sliding around a little bit. Just roll the shoulders up and down or push the floor away with a straight arm. So we're not press ups, we're just warming through the shoulder blade, the scapula. Keep your head looking forward. Try not to turn your head too much towards the camera. So once you know the position, I hope that my words will be enough. I will demonstrate. So you're pushing down and up, pressing the floor away, feeling the scapula push forward, protract and retract in the sockets. Now have this feeling of pushing up, but keeping the neck nice and long. Zip your tummy in, no rounding of the spine, just nice and long through the stomach. And we're just going to take your head down and up just a few times. We don't want to overstretch the neck. Sometimes we stretch it too much, and what it needs is a little bit of blood in there, a different type of movement than just stretching or forward leaning. So please keep your head lifted, looking at the mat after you've seen what we're doing. And take one arm, lift your elbow out to the side and feel that opening through the chest. We want to open those muscles at the front. And then just dive it through and feel a rotation through the back of the shoulder. Let your eye line follow your arm as much as is comfortable for your neck, but don't force that movement. So you're going to breathe in and open the elbow, looking towards it if it's comfortable, and breathing out and gliding it around. The whole time holding the abdominals in. So we're lifting through the elbow and breathing out, moving around the shoulder again. And then we'll change arms, of course. So hands nice and wide, shoulder blades pushing the floor away, belly button in. Bring your elbow out to the side for the opening in the chest, twisting if you can, and then diving through and under, threading the needle like you're threading through and underneath your arm, breathing out, breathing in. Thank goodness the sun is shining again today. It does help with the isolation. Breathing in, breathing out. Two more. Like I said, don't crane the neck. It doesn't matter if you're not looking at your elbow. Last one. And then come down again. Let your shoulders release backwards, slide your hands forward and just sink into the hips, feeling a stretch underneath the shoulder blades. So opening out the upper back a little bit. And then coming around into a lying down position. That's what we love about mat work. I think I used to say it every time. Grab whatever feels comfortable for your neck. Making sure the head isn't too tightly lifted. We want a support for the neck where your chin is comfortable away from your chest. With your hands down by your sides, feel the back of the shoulders opening down into the floor. And do the same type of thing that we did on your hands and knees. Lifting your shoulder blades away from the floor, not your head. And then opening the chest and pressing the scapula down wide into the floor. So it's an in-breath and an out-breath. And in. Feeling the in through the back of your chest and out. Just as we normally do in a Pilates lesson, gently zip the tummy in, but avoid pressing into the floor. Keep your tailbone heavy. And just do a couple more of this nice feeling in the scapula, the shoulders. And then leaving your shoulder blades down, open the arms, open your fingertips, open the chest. So think about opening the chest as much as you can if you suffer a lot from neck and upper back pain. Working through a door, you might be able to put your hands on either side of the door frame and widen the shoulders, keeping the ribs gently in. Try not to over-inflate the lungs here in the ribs. Just press gently down through the front of the ribs and feel the breathing coming into the back of the shoulder. So we're just going to bring the elbows out to the sides and the arms are going to go up and then down just a few times. Feel the rotator cuff, be careful of that. Just don't force it as everything goes. Now, a lot of people say, well, I can't do all these head lifts because I get such difficult neck pain. But we do actually want the spine to be strong in all areas. So the neck is one part of the lengthening through the spine. So the front of the neck becomes short and tight and sometimes not very strong. So we're just going to do 3 or 4 head lifts. Keeping your lower back steady, nodding the head off your cushion, breathing out, feel the stretch and of course the strength, and then coming back down. Feel the softness in the cushion or your ball, breathing out and breathing in. Just check that your lower back is staying steady and it really is a head and perhaps a chest lift. And then lower back down. All good. Tuck the ball or the cushion right in the nape of your neck and hands down by your sides. Draw the chin up to the ceiling, which is shortening the neck. Without lifting your head now, draw your chin towards the chest, lengthening the muscles at the back of your neck right into the skull. So you're breathing just comfortably in and up, out and down. My camera fell over. So keep doing that and I'll give it a good push. I hope it doesn't do it again. If it does, I'll have to start again. So we're just doing the chin retraction, neck retractions. Chin and neck retractions. Right, here we go again with some head lifts. Hands up to the ceiling. Tailbone heavy in a natural neutral position if that's something you recognize. You're nodding your head forward, breathing out, and then coming back down, breathing in. Just 2 or 3. Breathing out and breathing in. So we're pumping blood up around the neck. Last one, and then come back. This time take your hands a little wider so you're feeling the opening through the chest. And turn your head without lifting, letting the chin draw down the side. So stretching the SCM, these long muscles down the front of the neck. Come back into the middle. And of course go the other side. Doing a few just side to side. Don't force the stretches. Let gravity take your head sideways. And just notice if one side is harder than the other. Again, never force your stretches. Just let them come and just notice how they are. Leaving your head in the center. Think of the middle to lower back a little bit more. And I'd like you to arch your spine, making a gap, like a tunnel, underneath your back. And then release into a neutral natural. Arching the spine. As you arch the spine, feel the chin gently draw in and then release. So we're going the opposite way to what you'd start with sometimes or feel that you're starting with in a Pilates class. We're not imprinting, we're actually arching the spine and then releasing. The natural movement of arching will also lengthen the neck. So we're lengthening but with a nice feeling of release in the front of the neck. So no lifting here. Yeah. And then another one, maybe. Feeling that arch in the spine. And then come back into the center. Leaving your head comfortable, don't lift it. Hands wide, feet narrow and together. Turn your head one side and your knees the other. Let the back naturally rotate. Squeeze your tummy in to draw the knees back to the center. And repeat the other side. Turning your head without lifting. Try not to adjust your hips. Let your hips roll over to that side and then drawing the internal obliques in as you squeeze the tummy in to bring the knees up. Just going from side to side. Squeezing in. So it's gently rotating through the waist. Feel the chest opening. Chest opening is so important because usually with neck strain, you tend to shorten at the front of the body. So let's do another one. Coming back into the center. Great. So, turn sideways, face the camera of course. Keep your head on your cushion. At this stage, the towel's quite nice if it's longer. You do want to have some sort of support for your neck. One hand on top of the other. And then, can you sit me on the sunshine, which is rather nice. Keep one knee stacked on top of the other and lift your chest onto the ceiling. Feel that you're opening your chest and your ribs and your head rather than just dropping your arm back. Opening the head, neck and shoulders. Take a nice long breath or 2 at the back. And then coming back up again. As you go this time, reach your hand forward and then stretch up and around and open the chest, sticking the knees together like there's a bit of glue tack between your knees. And then coming back over the top. We'll do another two. So reaching your shoulder blade up and out and giving yourself space in the shoulder. And then on the next one, you might just want to stay there. So taking a nice long in breath here. Release into the out breath and the stretch. Keep looking away from the camera. And if you turn your head back, you can see that I'm looking at you, just so you can hear my voice. Check that your knee is really reaching forward towards your device, your camera. Open the chest and breathe into that stretch. Last one, about. You can do loads of breaths here. Coming out of this nice release stretch, bend your elbow to your shoulder and then bring yourself forward. It's a little bit more comfortable. With your head released and relaxed, push yourself looking down to the floor and come back up. To change sides, come onto your hands and knees. Go back into that releasing, lengthening, feeling through the neck. Now with gravity, relaxing your neck. And then come back up, breathe in. And then breathe out. So turn around and repeat that on the other side. Same goes. I'll do it with you because, you know, when you say you can do it again by yourself at home, I know I never do. So I'll do it with you. One knee on top of the other. Also, it feels really nice. I don't want to be one-sided today. Reach your shoulder forward, lift up into the ceiling, and then knees connected. Open your head, neck and shoulders away from the camera, feeling that lovely stretch. And coming back up. Might not be away from the camera. Knees connected is the important bit because you'll feel a greater connection of anchoring. If you let them slip apart, it's easier to roll over, but there's not that nice rotational feeling. And then do you rotate, going back over the top? Perhaps breathe into the roof. Breathe out as you go into your stretch. At the end range of your stretch, take another in-breath. And notice how the in-breath might actually encourage the opening. And then coming back over. This one we're going to stay there, so breathing in. Opening the head, neck, shoulders, chest, breathing out. Still with a little bit of support in the tummy and the hips. Breathe into your stretch, stay there. You might have one side that feels stiffer than the other. And then coming back up and around. This time, rather than coming onto your hands and knees, roll yourself back onto your back. Keep your head supported. And we're going to draw circles with your chin or your nose. So circling your head, going up and around, and then drawing down and in. And whenever I used to teach this, if you remember, I used to always say, imagine the circle getting increasingly bigger, like ripples in a pond if you dropped a pebble in it. So you drop that pebble, which is where your nose is, and then the ripples are going increasingly bigger and bigger. Feeling the opening, the stretching perhaps, the lifting of your chin through the back of your neck. And when you can't make that circle any bigger, release any tension through the shoulders and reverse is what I meant to say. Chin drawing down and in, as big a circle as you can make in the opposite direction. And this time, visualize a spinning top, getting smaller and smaller, ever decreasing circles. And this you can take as long as you like until you feel the circle is almost in your mind's eye and you're coming to rest right at the back of your head, a supported, sort of hovering feeling from the mat. Make sure the ponytail's not there. Feel that nice, slow motion coming to rest at the back of your head, and feel the weight of the head sinking into the ball or the floor behind you. Enjoy that feeling of release. Have a same feeling of opening the chest, perhaps opening your fingertips to the ceiling. enjoy that feeling of rest. Feel the heaviness in your tail. You can knock your knees together, perhaps in this tripod position, so that your lower abdominals and your inside thighs are more at rest. If you do take your legs out, check that your back isn't overarched. That might also put stress again into the neck. So knees bent is also quite a nice position. And just stay here for 3 or 4 breaths. Don't be in a rush to turn the camera off. And enjoy the stretch through the neck. Stretch through the neck, I should have said release through the neck, the back. And the calming feeling coming into your breathing. Once your neck is this released, I hope relaxed, more relaxed, the nicest way to come out of this is do not lift your head. Walk your feet to one side and let your knees drape sideways. Bring your arm across and around like we did on the first side. Look at the floor and push yourself up with your arms. Come around to your hands and knees, and you can finish in that child's pose, sinking your hips back and head forward. If this is a nice position for your knees, bring your arms also down by your feet and let your shoulders round forward onto the thighs. Draw your shoulders backwards, scoop your tummy from the thighs, lift yourself into this nice lifted position. Can you still see my head? And then just lift one arm up and the other arm back. Feel that rotation through the chin, the neck, chest. And then breathe in. Do the same the other side. And then breathe in. Place both hands behind your head. Open the elbows, open the chest. May I just remind you of that door frame stretch? So if you bring your elbows out to the side, grab the door frame on the way out of the room, open the chest forward. This is what you can do on a daily basis. And release. I hope that's helped somewhat this morning. And now I hope you enjoy your day and it's as sunny as this one is today. Bye.